Hi everyone and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits, and today is Sunday, April 23rd, 2017. This is episode 280. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week, and if you're new, hopefully you enjoy today's show and you'll come back in the future. As you can see, Callie is not with me again this week. She had a major event that she was emceeing last night, and it was kind of a big deal, so she had a lot of rehearsal and getting prepped for that, and so it was a long day for her, and so she decided to take today and just kind of rest and relax, and who can blame her, right? We all need that rest and relaxation every once in a while, so hopefully she'll be back with us next episode in about 2 weeks. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've seen her, but, you know, we all have our busy time of year, and this is gearing up to be her busy time. It's always a busy time for her, let's just be honest. So, welcome back. If you're new, thanks for checking us out, or me out today. Yeah, let's just get into the show. Let's do a quick 2 weeks in review. I will say that today may be a little choppy. I'm trying to use the microphone again and see how things work. Do a little test here and there. So I'm going to do this kind of in segments since I'm editing again. You saw the old but yet revised intro maybe last episode. From way back when I used to do a lot of editing. I slapped that intro and exit music on the beginning and end of last episode. And so we'll try that again and see how it works this week. So, the weather is beautiful today. I'd love to have the windows open, but I decided to try to keep outside noise to a minimum. And Andy is outside putting together some new patio furniture for our front porch that we got this week, so he's working through his honeydew list today. So, quick 2 weeks in review. So I went back to work this week. I was in the middle of spring break when we saw each other last, and finished out spring break. It was a good time to have off, yet busy with leading Men Fiber Arts and dyeing and prepping for our show that we've ended at last weekend, which was the Fiber event in Greencastle, Indiana. And that was a lot of fun. This was our second time doing that show, and we had a good time. The weather was beautiful again, so we couldn't ask for anything more. And yeah, so we showed up there. We drove out there Thursday evening, got there about 5-10 minutes before they were supposed to close up the building, so we actually got our grid walls set up really quickly, and then Andy and I had a nice dinner at a restaurant that we had heard about called Almost Home, which is kind of like a tea room in Greencastle, Indiana, and so that was a nice dinner for the two of us, and got into our hotel, which was nothing spectacular. There's not a whole lot to choose from out there. We actually stay about 10 miles outside of Greencastle, and then Friday morning we got up and set up and then vended. It's a beautiful area out in the fairgrounds. The cell reception is a little spotty out there, so it makes it interesting for trying to check out our customers with our PayPal app. But I usually send Andy out to the edge of the barn outside, you know, holding up his cell phone trying to get reception. So we got through that, and it was a good day. Friday evening, we were supposed to go to Joanna, who is Knit Spin Farm, formerly of the Knit Spin Farm podcast. We were supposed to go to her farm with a few other people that she invited to kind of have some pizza and get to see the farm animals and things of that nature. Well, unfortunately, our GPS hates us out there, and so we turned the wrong way and was going to have to take us like another half hour, 40 minutes out of the way, which was already like a 45-minute to an hour drive away from the event. And then on the way there, we were like, okay, well, maybe we'll drive. It was going to take us on the outskirts of Indianapolis and then back around, and they had said there was a 20-minute delay, and Andy was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to drive, 2+ hours So we turned around and went back to our hotel. So unfortunately, we did not get to go out to the farm. But hopefully next year, we told Joanna we're going to get there. We are going to get there. So hopefully next year we'll be able to visit the farm. And we had some kind of crappy Mexican food that night. And then Saturday we vended again and packed up and headed home. And if you stopped by and said hello, thank you so very much. It's always great seeing people who watch the show. I never really know how to react when people are like, I watched the show. I'm like, it's great. I love when people watch the show. It's just me talking to an iPad. That's all it is, about my knitting and my life and all that stuff. So, but thank you so much to everybody who stopped by, whether you bought from us or not. I understand perusing, and our stock was a little low at that event. We would have liked to have had a lot more, but we're dying as fast as we can. So then Sunday and Monday, Monday was my last day of spring break, and then Tuesday I went back to work, and I worked Tuesday through Friday, and had to do some testing, which I still have to do next week. But before I know it, the school year is going to be over. We only have about 4 more weeks of real school, and then final exams. So before I know it, I'm going to be into summer break, and I cannot wait for that. So yeah, that's been my 2 weeks. I hope you guys have had a really good 2 weeks. And yeah, let's move into works in progress. All right, so what's taking a bow this week? As you can see next to me, we have my Quantum Leap Boomerang, and this is the third? No, fourth? Fourth? No, third, because this was March. Haha, I can do math. This is the third boomerang that I've done in 2017. I've done one for every new colorway that Leading Men Fiber Arts has premiered this year. So the first one we did was Yarn Hoarder, and then we did Love You to Pieces, and then this is Quantum Leap. So finished this off yesterday. I sat down to do some knitting and said, you know what, it's about time to add on the garter rows at the end and then call it good and bind off. So I did that yesterday morning, and then I blocked this and just, laid it out on my blocking mat, no pins, just let it take its general shape. I did kind of shake it out and let the weight with the water kind of open up that loose stockinette stitch. This is a fingering weight yarn. It's our showstopper base, again in the Quantum Leap colorway that I knit on a size 6 US, which is a 4mm needle. So I just let that kind of open up, then I laid it out on the blocking mat and just kind of let it take its natural boomerang shape, and yeah, and let it dry. And it was dry by last night, but I took it off the mats this morning and have it modeled on one of our many mannequins that we have for our booth setup for Leading Men Fiber Arts. So really excited about that, and another boomerang off the needles. There'll be another one on the needles here soon when I show you our new colorway for May. All right, so let's move into what's performing this week. The first thing that I have for you is, once again, my Rogers-esque cardigan jacket. This is by Mary Townsend, and I'm using Barocco Weekend DK in color number 2144, which is squash, and I am using a size 3 and 5 US, which is 3.25 and 3.75 millimeter needles. So this is the first sleeve. I showed you the start of the sleeve 2 weeks ago. I know, not much progress, but you can see here I'm adding in those light bulb stitch markers for every inch I'm increasing, and I think I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 increases, and I have to do 9, and then I go just knit straight stockinette until it reaches the desired length of the pattern, and then I do some shoulder shaping, and then I'll do a second sleeve exactly the same. So pretty easy, and then once the sleeves are done, I get to start putting this beast together. Alright, next up is my Find Your Fade by Andrea Mowry, and I'm using a variety of yarns. The current one that I'm knitting on is Happy Go Lucky HGL Sock in the Ice King colorway, and I am almost done with the garter section before I move into the simple eyelet lace of this particular color. It's kind of a beast, so it's hard to show. So again, here's it in all of its glory. And again, I'm in the Ice King here, the purple and blue. And I'll be starting the eyelet mesh section here soon. But the rows are not getting longer or shorter. They stay the same, but they're still a decent length. I did have a question this week regarding my Knitter's Pride Melody of Life interchangeable needles, which is what I'm knitting the Find Your Fade on. And I really enjoy them. I like the cable a lot. It's not too stiff, not too flimsy. The needles are really nice. I've got to say, these are probably up to, if not, you know, it's pretty much the same as my Chowgu red lace interchangeables. I really do like these. And the price point, you can't beat. They're about the same as the Hayahayas. They run in about, I think I paid $80 for the set. And the person who emailed me said that Webb's had them on sale for 60 something. So definitely check that out if you are interested in a good set of interchangeable needles. The cords are color-coded by length, so that helps on top of the needles being color-coded. The only downside that I would say that I have with the set is that the box, while beautiful that they come in with all the extras and accoutrement, it's not very feasible to put your needles back in once you're done using them to use the box. So I did purchase into an interchangeable needle case from Anne at the Silver Shed USA. She does a wonderful padded needle case that's unfortunately under some stuff, but I've showed it previously on the episode. But you can pick them up from a lot of independent bag makers or things of that nature. So that's the only downside, is you may need to purchase into a case that's a little bit more user-friendly. So there's my Find Your Fade. I'm on color 5. I've got 2 more colors to go after this. But you know what? I didn't make it for the knit along, so I'm not rushing myself. I'm just enjoying the knit when I get to sit down with it. All right, next up we have Aranthera by Jen Lucas, and I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Diva in the Dirty Truce colorway, and I'm using a size 4 US, which is a 3.5 millimeter needle. And I've come to the point in the pattern where it says you should be done. It calls for 12 body repeats. Because Diva is 150 grams, so it's essentially a skein and a half, I'm going past the 12 repeats. I'm almost done with my 14th, and I think I'm going to do a 15th before I bind off. I still have this much yarn left, so I may even be able to get to 16 repeats. It just depends, so we'll see. So here is where we are at, and this Diva base is so luxurious. It is 80% superwash merino and 20% silk. Everything's a hot mess today. So there we are. It's, again, an asymmetrical boomerang shape, but it has stockinette, a little bit of garter, and some eyelet mesh in between, so keeps you engaged, and I really do like it. So there's that going there. And I think it's just going to have some beautiful drape once it's done. So, and there's that. The last thing I have to show you is a new cast on. There's not much to see. I cast it on yesterday. I did go to Open Knitting at my knit shop, local yarn store yesterday, which is Les Moutons Rouge Knittery in Bloomington, Illinois. If you're ever in Central Illinois, I highly recommend you check out her shop. It is a gorgeous shop with tons of yarn, so definitely check that out. And Ernest has come up the stairs and has joined me. You might have heard him just shake out. He's so excited to gotten past the baby gate and come up the stairs. He's a smart one. Anyway, the last thing I cast on was the Pop Art Pop Tart hat by Sarah Abram, and this is out of her Squad Accessories ebook, which has 4 wonderful patterns in it. And this is a rollover brim hat with some colorwork dots or circles on it, and you can add a pom-pom at the end. So I am working on my ribbing. I'm about 2 inches. I'm about halfway through the ribbing. This black yarn is Barocco Voyage, which I believe is discontinued, in color number 4034, which is Kettle. And it's a really interesting chain ply kind of, I don't know, it's really springy. It's like a chain ply mesh in which I believe they kind of then shoot the alpaca fiber into the mesh, into the core. So I wanted to try the yarn, and so I picked it up. It was on clearance at my local yarn store. Also on clearance, and this is an Aran weight, I picked up Sans Garn Alpaca in color number 6765, which is teal. This is a DK weight. This is going to be the circles. I know it's an Aran and DK, but I think it'll be fine, especially when this is knit on a size 5 US, which is a 3.75 millimeter needle. So I just worked on that at knitting for something easy and simple to work on. So that is what is currently on my needles. All right, so if we move right along, I do not have anything in rehearsal, so we'll be moving into behind the scenes here in just a second. I'll be right back.
All right, so behind the scenes, what have I been working on in the world of spinning? Well, I have finished spinning the singles of my final commission spin for now, so that I can focus a little bit on my own stash and get some of that fiber stash down. But I spun 2 braids of Malabrigo Noob, which is a superfine merino, in 2 different colorways. The first one here is the Palomo colorway, which is a purplish gray, and then over here we have Candombe, which was like a purplish blue with some pops of green and yellow, very subtle underneath. So very subtle changes between the two. I tried to spin this a little bit thicker, so I'm going to be doing a 2-ply, and I'll be plying that here in the next week. So excited about that, to get that off to its recipient. I may not have the final skein to show you. I probably won't, but I'll be able to show you a picture next time I record. So let's move into In the Spotlight. What am I watching and reading? Well, Andy and I did sit down and watch a movie the other night. Last weekend, I believe. We split it over 2 nights. We watched Suicide Squad, which has Will Smith in it and Jared Leto, I believe, and a bunch of other people. We really enjoyed it, actually. I thought it was good. I did have an issue with so many backstories. It feels like it was throwing way too much information at you in order to kind of encapsulate it all. I would have rather they'd taken a little bit more time, which I know is hard to do, but I think there could have been a lot more build up to it. But that's my opinion. So I did finish reading a book. I've been listening to it for quite a while I spin, and it is a long audiobook, but I finished Salem's Lot by Stephen King. I had heard the 2 Knitlit chicks, Barb and Tracy, talk about this months ago and how it just created the suspense. I thought it was all right. Maybe I just listened to it a little bit too slow. I thought it was okay. I thought the climax was rather anticlimactic. To be honest, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of duel or taunting between the protagonist and antagonist. But that, again, is my opinion. I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars. Can't remember now. It's been a little while. I've started a new book. That was another recommendation on Tracy's part that I had listened to recently. So just getting into that book, but I'll tell you more about that one when I finish that. All right, we have a new giveaway this week. So as I said, we've been very generously donated a lot of prizes to the podcast, which I want to pass along to all of you guys, our wonderful viewers. So this week, we're going to be giving away a book and 2 skeins of yarn. The book is Scarves in the Round by Heather Walpole. Looks like this. It retails, it says, for $21.95 here in the U.S. with a wonderful range of scarves knit in the round. So different types of cowls, essentially. But, you know. Infinity scarves, neck warmers, cowls, and double warm tube scarves, as it says. And going along with that book will be 2 skeins of Knit Picks Capra DK in the Celestial colorway. This is 85% merino, 15% cashmere, 123 yards to 50 grams, and it's a DK weight. So you get 100 grams of DK weight here. I'm sure you can probably find something to knit out of this book with this. So this is this week's giveaway. The prompt for this giveaway is going to be, what's your favorite condiment? I thought that was interesting. You know, are you a person who puts ketchup on everything? Are you a mustard person? Do you enjoy tartar sauce on your fish sandwiches? Or I wouldn't say I have one favorite condiment. I would say that I like a lot of, I'm kind of a sauce person, if you want to put it that way. No matter what it is, if it's sauce, salad dressing, syrup, milk in my cereal, I need a lot of it. I need my stuff to swim. Maybe not the salad so much, but kind of. I like my food to swim in whatever sauce it is in. So that's me. But you must be a member of the group. 1 post per person, please, and I will use random.org to pull for a winner for that wonderful prize, which again was donated to the podcast next time we record, which I believe will be May 7th. So make sure you get your entries into the thread on our Ravelry group, which can be found as Dramatic Knits Video Podcast. All right, so let's move into a round of applause. And we need to, or I should say, I've already drawn for a winner for last week's prize, which was a Della-Q project bag and a skein of Opal Cotton Premium along with a stitch marker on the inside. And I believe we had over 100 and some odd entries, so thank you everyone who entered. And random.org picked number 31, which is Piper's mom, and that's Sandy from Albany, New York. And the prompt last week was, what is the one thing that you cannot live without? And Sandy said, I couldn't live with my love and friend Ron, and of course cake. Well, I do not judge you on your love and your friend Ron. I might judge you a little bit on the cake. I'm not a cake person. I'm more of a pastry person. Now, let's put it this way. I do enjoy the actual cake. I'm not a fan of frosting. But I am a fan of glazes and things of that nature on my pastries. So it's a give or take. You know what I mean? If I get a Danish, I like some glaze on the Danish or whatever. But yet if you give me a cinnamon roll with like cream cheese frosting, I don't like a whole lot. I'll usually scrape most of the frosting off. I know some of you are like, sacrilege, but you know. All right, so congratulations, Sandy. If you would please contact me, Dramatic Knits, via Ravelry. Let me know your first and last name and your mailing address, and I'll get that out to you as soon as I can. All right, we do have our Race to the Finished Object contest going for the month of April. We have 2 wonderful prizes. The first will be whatever I grab from our prize pool when I record next. And the second is a pattern from our featured designer, who is Sarah B. Abram, who is near and dear to our hearts here at Dramatic Knits, as she is an avid watcher and a wonderful designer who loves to work with leading men fiber arts. So we can't judge her there, can we? So thank you, Sarah, for being our featured designer for the month of April. That being said, we are looking for a new featured designer. If you are a designer or know of a designer and want to tell them about our little podcast here at Dramatic Knits, we'd love to feature them from anywhere from 1 up to 6 months. And all it requires for them to do is to donate 1 pattern per month. So please email me, Dramatic Knits, via Ravelry if you or you know of someone who's interested, or have them email me. So. All right, we're going to move into Center Stage, which is all things leading men fiber arts. If you leave us now, we'll see you in 2 weeks on May 7th, and I'll be freshly back from a new event, but I'll be talking about that here right now. So, quickly, I want to talk about, we talked about the fiber event. It was a great event. We'll be back next year. Can't wait. Hopefully we'll be, I believe we'll probably be in the same spot that we were in this year and last year. Same booth number, everything, in the barn rather than the main building when you come in. I do want to tell you about May's new colorway of the month. I kind of made the decision. Andy did these colorways and he did 2, and I think we might hold off on the other one for June, but he wouldn't really give me an answer, so I pulled for one. And so this is the new colorway of the month, and this particular one is on our Show Stealer base. It's a beautiful kind of emerald green with overwashes of black throughout, black and gray. And so I'm calling this Rumor Has It. Name popped in my head, went with it. So pre-orders will be up for Rumor Has It on May 1st, and they will be open through May 8th. We will have these available on every one of our bases, and you can order as much as you want on whatever base you want. So check out the shop during that week. Again, it's leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com, and I'll be casting this on for a new Boomerang here shortly. All right, in 2 weeks, right before we record again, on Saturday, May 6th, from 9 to 4 p.m., Leading Men Fiber Arts will be in Hiawatha, Iowa, at the Shepherd's Market. We did this event last spring. They do it every spring and fall. Unfortunately, the fall dates conflict with another event that we do, so we are able to attend in the spring. This is a new location from last year. From what I've heard, they've kind of moved around every year within the same relative location, but different event venues. So again, check that out. You can Google search Shepherd's Market, and you should be able to find it. Again, that's May 6th, Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you're local or within, an hour or 2 drive, we hope to see you there. It's a small event, but there were a lot of really good vendors. I know Yarn Geek Fibers was there last year. Knit Bob Pearl was there, as well as Dreams in Fiber, who is the owner is Erica Luder, who designed the Hermione's Everyday Sock, as well as a lot of other wonderful designs, and I couldn't walk away without some of her yarn last year. And then later in May, I just want to give you a heads up, we will be at the Spring Fiber Fling again this year in Woodstock, Illinois. That is May 21st and 22nd. I don't have the hours off the top of my head, but it is a Saturday-Sunday show. So we look forward to being there again this year. I'm hoping we'll be in the Sutter building. We'll see. There's 3 buildings. It's a fairgrounds again. And it was a good event to us last year. It was just really cold. So hopefully we do not get that cold snap again this year, because it was a little cold. I was wearing a lot of my samples last year. All right, that being said, let me show you what we've updated in the last 2 weeks, and then I'll let you go and be on your way. And I have no idea how long this podcast is, because I've done it in several segments. And let's pray that this final segment has sound. So, opening up my tub of goodness, we have, first off, I did update a new Spotlight mini skein set. And this is a variegated set. So we have Yarn Hoarder, Beanstalk, Reconditioned Punishment, Neon Pencil, and Into the Woods. So each of these mini skeins are 79 yards or 20 grams each, for a total of 395 yards and 100 grams in the set. So you can check that out. There's a few of those left. And then let's just go through the yarn. So on Soliloquy, I just updated this morning. We have Don't You Know. On Box Office, we have Quantum Leap, again, our colorway from April. On Callback, our Sport Weight, we have Into the Woods. On Showcase, we have Industrial. I do always like this colorway. Haven't knit anything with it yet. It's got that rich sapphire navy-ish blue with undertones of a maroon and a silver. On Showstopper, we have Hoppin' Along. Showstopper Intermission, which is a half skein of Showstopper, we have Darkest Hour of black. Same base, we have Sour Apple. And Blue Ink. And Orange You Jealous. On callback, we also have another skein of Quantum Leap. So we have it on a couple of bases. On Spotlight, we have Into the Woods again. On Box Office, we have Poison Apple. Showstopper, we have Orange and Jealous, full skein. Callback, Pink Lemonade. Showcase, we have Blue Steel. Our Diva base, again, that Superwash Merino Silk base, we have Smoky Quartz, as well as Pipeline. Show Stealer, this is our Merino Cashmere Nylon base. We have Perfection. Again on Diva, we have Tranquil. We have a lot of variety in bases this past couple of weeks. Box Office, we have No Good Deed. I just finished a hat out of this in the past couple of weeks. Showstopper, we have Black Walnut. Showcase, we have Black Walnut again. Showstopper Intermission, we have Imperial and London Fog. And then on our Ghostlight base, which is our lace weight superfine merino silk, we have People Eater. And then our last two skeins on Dramaturg, our DK weight, we have Lucky Charm. And then last but not least, on Showcase, we have some Ain't My First Rodeo. So that's all up in the shop, up for grabs right now. You again can check out the shop at leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com. We'd love if you would join our Ravelry group for the shop, as well as follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, you can find the show on iTunes and YouTube, as well as our website, which is dramaticknits.com. So until next week, or next time I see you in 2 weeks, I hope you knit something dramatic.